Time to let the little dog eat. Woo, doggy. Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms, and today we're going to mill some lumber. I have not started my mill in close to 2 weeks, which is a shame because I really have a lot of milling I need to do, and I enjoy it. I had it down at the pond a couple weeks ago, added the Woodlander trailer, then I brought it up here late in the evening, and I didn't make time to get it set up and leveled out. So the first thing we've got to do is get this thing level. And I think I'm going to put some larger chunks of wood under the jacks to keep it from sinking in. Because the problem I had when I was milling down by the pond is I would level everything out and then I'd set a log on it and it wasn't level again. And I think part of that was just the stress coming out of the joints, but also those feet were probably sinking in some. At least that's what you guys told me. So first thing I need to do is get it leveled out and we'll go from there. All right, the best way to raise and lower this is with an impact and a 3/4 inch socket. I had this end way up in the air and the other end is just setting on the tires. So we'll jack this way down so we can get the jacks under the other end. Now, leveling this out is not that big a deal, but like anything else, the first time you do it, it's a little harder, and then it'll get easier every time. And I've got to get the hang of this, where it doesn't take me very long, because I want to do this on a semi-regular basis and take the mill on location. I'd really like to take it to some more events and shows like I did this spring. While we're at it, I've got a new product here. So, you guys know how much I like the WaySafe trailer hitches. I think it's about the best deal on the market for a trailer hitch that tells you how much tongue weight you have, and it helps with making your towing experience safer. And I decided I needed a locking hitch for the sawmill. If I'm ever going to take it anywhere on jobs, I might be leaving it there. And besides that, just around the house, you never know when someone might want your stuff more than you do. So I was looking for a hitch lock. Turns out WaySafe makes one. It looks like a really nice one. And it's matching keys to my other WaySafe products. I just told them what number is on my other hitch lock, and they sent me out a match. This will be the same story as anything else that WaySafe makes. I've got a discount code that'll save you, I believe it's 15% on any WaySafe product. Push this in, turn the lock. It's got a rubber cap that goes over the locking mechanism. Give you a little bit of peace of mind. Waysafe.com, discount code in the description of the video. Break out the old Geniverse. Tell you what, we actually had a power outage. What was it, about a week ago that lasted half a day? It was really handy having that thing. Had this chunk of 2x12 setting around that's about 7 feet long. Thought if I cut it into 12-inch lengths, have squares 12 inch by 12 inch, put one under each of the 6 jacks, that ought to do a pretty good job, and it will all come out of that one piece of wood. A big part of what I'm trying to do right now is establish something that is repeatable for how to level this quickly. I think I want the sawmill to set pretty low. Maybe just have the lowest it can go is having the tires on the ground. And if your tires are on the ground, you can't level. So I'm thinking I'm going to start at that end and raise that end until the tires are maybe 1 to 2 inches off the ground. And then have that end be my starting point. Couple issues with this log and the way I placed it on here. Number one, it's got a bunch of mud on it. It's hard on your blades, wears them out in a hurry, and it wouldn't do any good to roll it where that mud wasn't going to hit the blade. You're going to cross it at some point as you go through it. So I'm going to try knocking some of that off first. Ended up being a lot more of that than I thought. I ended up skinning about half of the log. I also forgot how long this log is. It's 15 foot at least. But I got most of that cleaned up, and I was thinking I would just go with it right here. But then I remembered there's a bad spot on this end that flattens off one side. I think it pulled fiber when they cut it down. So I need to roll it over and analyze that, and I might put that parallel to the first cut. Okay, I'm gonna have to complain to Paul about this and tell him I want my money back. But I don't remember. I don't think I paid for these logs, so maybe I won't do any complaining. I don't think this is too big of a deal. Most of what's missing would be slab wood, so I think we'll just lock her down right here and make our first cut, maybe ½ inch under that split. Besides the bad spot, the other issue with this log is I put the small end down here, and I normally always put the small end at that end, but I think I'll be able to slide my little jack out and bring it down here and lift this end up. What a beautiful day to be running a sawmill. The problem I had when the mill was down by the pond is that I would get everything leveled out and then put my log on, and it would sink into the ground or shift or whatever the case is, and then it would be off again. So hopefully with those boards under it, I can level it once now and it'll stay every time I put a log on. But let's see if we're close again. I go long way with a longer level, and I've been meaning to get an 8-foot level instead of the 6-foot. And then put a short level across this direction. First two measurements are good. We're a little bit off side to side. I'm going to try dropping that side just a little bit, and then I'll have to come back up and check lengthways again, because you make one change, it affects everything. I've been in this bad pattern ever since I got the sawmill. Saw a bunch of logs, pile up the slab wood, be frustrated by the pile of slab wood, wait a few weeks, and then finally come along and clean it all up at once. I'm trying to commit to myself to deal with the slab wood as I make the slab wood. So these are going straight into the rack, which means they need to be cut to length. Partially because my rack isn't that long, but also slabs are really heavy when they're 16 foot long. I thought, boy, that electric chainsaw will be the perfect tool for that, but I've had this chain on here forever, and it's dull, and it's also apparently loose. So I have to work on this before I can use it again. I think I have an extra chain for it, but I don't think I have a file to sharpen on this. The even cut, this is cut to 8 feet to try to get an even amount of 16-inch pieces, but even cut to 8 foot, that's pretty heavy. That's also a lot thicker than normal slab. I cut it so thick because of the damage on the other end. I just need to cut all that bad off, so it's thick. What I like about this slab rack is that I don't have to bend down to cut. What I don't like is that if I'm loading it by hand, I have to lift it up pretty high to load it. I'm anticipating that I'll mostly load it with the grapple or the tractor or some pallet forks or something. I would have had a hard time rolling that same log with the mill on the stand because it was too high. Working down at ground level, you have a ton of leverage, and the more you come up, the less leverage you have. Once you get it rolled up, if you can get one clamp in place, you can go around to the back and check and make sure you're flat against your stops. And then I'll have to jack one side of the log up again. We've got more taper this way because this log is really kind of oblong. I want this top surface here to cut this corner, which means I was about 1.5 inches too high on my estimate. And I actually have a laser, but the batteries are dead. I need to go up and get new batteries for that laser. But yeah, drop this down about 1.5 inches and we'll be good. So I have two small chainsaws, the electric and the top handle. And my annoyance with both of them is, you know, something that could easily be solved, but I don't keep files around for these saws. So if the chain's dull, I'm kind of out of luck. So I guess I just need to do a better job, get a set of files for all different chain sizes. Time to let the little dog eat. Woo, doggy. Takes a little while to get it started for one little cut. Oh, I should be wearing my mowing helmet. That ever happened to you where you got something simple you know you should be doing and then you still don't do it? Guilty. So before that last cut, I was down to a square that was just slightly under 9 inches in each direction. And with the pith right here, and I'm trying to get 5.5-inch boards, the best corner to get that out of is this top corner right here. So I cut this bottom section off, that took the pith off, and then I'll be making my next cut 5.5 this way. So we're going to flip both of these and cut them together. So basically, I had a 9x9, and I cut a 6x6 up here, which left a 3x6, another 3x6, and a 3x3. Those 3x6s will probably be cut to 2x6s later, but for now, I'm just going to stack them up the way they are. It was nice to get back out here and get to milling. I need to go from this type of milling, where I mess with the mill for an hour and then do one log, into more like a production milling where I've just got a bunch of medium-sized logs and I buzz through them and stack up some lumber, because I'm never going to get enough to put up my building if I don't get more productive than this. Anyway, I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.